I was raised in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormon faith or the LDS faith. My connection to Mormonism, because it's so severed and it's so distant for me, the religion doesn't really play a huge role in my life at all, but I do find it having a huge impact in my aesthetic, my poetic aesthetic. The nuclear family or heterosexual marriage is always like the most important ideal in that religion. So growing up queer in that religion, there was a really strong resistance internally and also externally towards an idea of queerness or like queer marriage. I think it took me being like so deep in the religion. I myself went on an LDS mission for some time when I was 18. It required me being in that very, very hyper religious environment for me to realize I couldn't live both at the same time. So that's one of the reasons I'm so interested in some of these missionaries that came to England, because missionary work is so integral to the LDS faith and its expansion globally. And as somebody who went global to preach the religion, I'm interested in following the history of that ecclesiastical work abroad. So I've traveled to London, specifically the UK, to research the first LDS missionaries or Mormon missionaries that came abroad in the mid-1800s. With my poetry, I'm often super fascinated in tradition, whether that's religious tradition or family tradition or personal tradition. I think in regards to the religious traditions that I often write, my queer identity often comes into conflict with it because it is so polarizing in that religious space. I find myself questioning the world around me sort of through that theological lens. So whether the poetry is religious or not, I think a lot of the surreal aspects of the religion have manifested in like my aesthetic. I don't know, wherever I go, I see images, I see words, and they just naturally, I feel like I'm just collecting them. I think international travel or just being abroad in general is so important for me, and I think just so important for writers to understand that there is perspective, there is life that is so completely different than your own. So for me, I think I've only been able to grow so much as a person because I've had the opportunity to be immersed in places that are completely different than where I was raised. I think in particular, growing up in Salt Lake City where everyone is very similar, everyone has very similar values, it requires really being able to see the world has so many different perspectives to realize that there isn't just one right way to live.